games like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2 and Starfield. 2022 was meant to be the best year in gaming in the last 4 years.
Condor 1.
Hunnigan here. What's your sit rep?
President's daughter, Baby Eagle. It's likely she's in this village.
Unfortunately, those games and more were delayed out of 2022, leaving the year much less impressive than fans expected. However, that does mean that 2023 is shaping up to be the year in gaming that people were hoping this year would be. The bevy of delayed games alone is enough to flood fans with new titles. Every major studio looks to have a big title releasing, meaning there's no better time to try and pick up a current generation console. Today, I am going to show you top 10 most anticipated games of 2023. Before the video begins, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to the Gaming United channel. Now, let's begin. 10. Star Wars. Jedi Survivor continues Cal Kestis' story. Star Wars Jedi. Fallen Order was one of the biggest surprises from Electronic Arts in years. A single-player game with no real DLC. Fans didn't believe the publisher still knew how to make those sorts of games. But Respawn Entertainment delivered a high-quality story with challenging gameplay. With the second installment, fans hope the Star Wars Jedi series can take the next leap and create an experience that cements itself as the true king of Star Wars games. Respawn and EA haven't said much about where Cal's journey will take him, but hopefully it expands on the Star Wars galaxy. The young Jedi Cal Kestis returns in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a sequel to 2019's critically acclaimed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Fallen Order was a major success on all fronts that showed that single-player Star Wars games are hugely popular. Developer Respawn Entertainment, otherwise known for Titanfall and Apex Legends, is collaborating with Lucasfilm Games once more for this sequel. An early trailer for the game has shown off mysterious new characters and plenty of intrigue. This game will follow on from the events of the original story and will likely see Kestis attempting to survive a galaxy turned hostile in the wake of Order 66, which commanded the killing of all Jedi warriors. Number 9. Forspoken takes a young girl to a dangerous new land. Announced in 2020, Forspoken should have already been released, but the game was pushed back to the beginning of 2022. Forspoken is the result of a collaboration between Western writers and Japanese game developers. Somehow, they still managed to make an isekai video game. While the story of a New York girl teleported to a fantasy world isn't terribly original, the story isn't what's drawing fans in. Instead, it's the awesome-looking combat and traversal options. Frey is a combat mage, meaning she fights using the power of magic, giving Luminous Productions a unique opportunity to create combat unlike any other game on the shelves. Number 8. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League brings back ROCKSTEADY'S DC universe. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is ROCKSTEADY'S first title since 2015's Batman: Arkham Knight. After years of fans wondering what the developers were working on, it was confirmed in 2020 they were dipping their toes into the Suicide Squad corner of the DCU. This time around, the Suicide Squad takes one of the greatest superhero teams, the Justice League, after they've fallen under the control of Brainiac. Fans get to choose between Deadshot, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, or Harley Quinn in a story that can be tackled alone or with friends. But will they really kill the Justice League? Fans will have to wait until next year to find out. Number 7. Wo Long. Fallen Dynasty offers a new challenge for Neo fans. Fans cannot get enough of the Souls-like genre, and developers can't get enough of making them. So when Team Ninja announced they were working on a spiritual successor to Neo in Wo Long, Fallen Dynasty, the hype for the game was palpable. This new game takes place during China's Three Kingdoms era, in an alternate history where demons have taken over the land. In this game, the player takes on the role of a nameless soldier who rises to become a hero through his accomplishments. People were already excited to try this game, and the excellent demo has raised things to a fever pitch. Number 6. Street Fighter VI brings Capcom fans their fighting game fix. Capcom's latest installment in the Street Fighter franchise looks like everything fans were asking for. With a decent-sized opening roster, control options for beginners and experienced players, and some gorgeous 90s hip-hop visual style, it feels like the first time Street Fighters had a clear direction since Street Fighter VI. There's even a substantial story mode for those who prefer to play fighting games single-player, and a robust character creator for players to put themselves into Metro City. The fighting game king has returned, and it couldn't have happened at a better time, with the community hungering for a new title that hopefully won't have a disastrous launch. Number 5. Resident Evil 4 will be Capcom trying to remake a classic. Capcom has found great success remaking several of their older Resident Evil titles alongside releases of brand new Resident Evil games. Most of the goodwill Capcom has generated recently comes from their success in getting this classic survival horror franchise back to prominence. Pressure's never been higher to get it right than with Resident Evil 4, however, as the game is believed to be one of the greatest games of all time. Still, everything Capcom's shown so far has been excellent, which leaves fans eager to see if they'll have even more Resident Evil to love when this game releases next year. Capcom has been on stellar form in recent years. Now we're making arguably its most popular game ever for a new generation. Players will once again control U.S. Agent Leon Kennedy on a mission to rescue the president's daughter from an infected violent cult in a remote Spanish village. Although the narrative is interestingly being changed up a little bit from the original storyline. This remake of Resident Evil 4 from 2005 will use all the latest in modern gaming advancements to really amp up the horror of the game. Number 4. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 brings both Peter and Miles into the same world. Marvel's Spider-Man was one of the best titles of 2018 and one of the best superhero games of all time. With Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Insomniac took their expertise to a new level, offering a more focused Spider-Man game as a PlayStation 5 launch title. But from the looks of things, with the next game, Insomniac is looking to go even further beyond. They haven't shown much of the game just yet, but what's known as Peter Parker and Miles Morales will be playable, and the Venom symbiote will be in the game. The game doesn't even have a release date, but Insomniac are known for two things these days: hitting release dates and releasing awesome games. Knowing that, it's not surprising fans aren't doubting the developer's abilities. The only question is, will they make up more video game-only costumes for the two heroes? After the huge success of Marvel's Spider-Man in 2018, Insomniac Games is going back to New York City to continue their version of the friendly neighborhood spider. Marvel's Spider-Man was hailed as one of the best games to come out in 2018. Along with its follow-up, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the new iterations of the characters are now in full swing. This sequel, Spider-Man 2, will have players acting as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales as they patrol the streets and square off against Kraven the Hunter and Venom. Number 3. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom looks to see if it can match the most popular Zelda. The original Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, is widely considered to be one of the greatest games of the last generation. An excellent launch title for the Nintendo Switch, it lived up to every fan's dreams of an open-world Zelda on an HD console. Now most franchises dealing with all that would be crushed under the weight of fan expectations for the next game. But Nintendo lives for these moments. Tears of the Kingdom hasn't shown off much gameplay, but the verticality of the world looks like it will offer meaningful change to the next game. Number 2. Final Fantasy XVI is the first new mainline Final Fantasy in years. Not many JRPGs have as much hype behind them as Final Fantasy XVI. It's been years since the last mainline project, with fans hoping Square Enix learned enough from their last project to make an amazing game here. The game certainly doesn't look like older Final Fantasy titles, with a distinct dark fantasy vibe that will undoubtedly bring in fans of series like HBO's Game of Thrones. The heavy action combat is bound to draw in fans of character action games, so all that's left to discover now is whether the game's story is any good and can generate even more fun Final Fantasy theories. As the 16th mainline entry in the immensely popular gaming series, Final Fantasy XVI promises even more advanced medieval fantasy artwork and captivating storytelling than previous games in the series. Final Fantasy XVI takes place in a world inspired by medieval Europe, and you play as an Archduke of Rosaria who must set off on a wild and magical quest. A PlayStation blog post revealed that icons will play a big part in the story. These summoned creatures feature in combat and affect the world of Alastia. The icons revealed thus far are Phoenix, Titan, Garuda, Rema, Shiva, Odin, Bahamut, and Ifrit. Each is a powerful creature that has a suite of different abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. Early looks at the game feature over-the-top, monster-on-monster combat. Number 1. Starfield is the next big space game. Bethesda's next big game, Starfield, was scheduled to release in November. But right before Xbox and Bethesda's Summer Games Showcase, Starfield and Arcane Studios' Redfall were delayed into 2023. But what was shown off in the game looked absolutely amazing. Bethesda looks like they're about to prove once again why they're one of the most beloved RPG studios, as Starfield looks like a massive world waiting to be explored. With plenty of character options for roleplay and the ability to collect a spaceship crew, Starfield might be the space game many fans have been looking to see for years. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable post alerts to view more of our future videos. After seeing that, keep watching our videos, and I'll speak with you in the next one.